What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Keaton, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and X. Links are in the description below as I get into my NFL Week 11 predictions. So let's not waste any time here. Let's get into these picks. Last week went 7-7, which is okay. It was a hard week in terms of picks, a lot of upsets and that type of deal there. Season 88-60, which is pretty good. So let's just continue to improve and let's have a better week here. Teams on the bye: Indianapolis Colts, New Orleans Saints, New England Patriots, Atlanta Falcons. Thursday night football edition, we have an AFC North battle between the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens favored by 4 points. Cincinnati coming off of a home loss to the Texans, 30-27. The Bengals didn't really do nothing for about 3 quarters in that game. They just couldn't get anything going offensively. Joe Burrow really had some key turnovers in that game that really just kept the Texans in the game. Obviously, they were leading throughout that game. The Bengals, they turned up in the fourth quarter, obviously, going on the run, cutting that lead down. Obviously, they just couldn't make enough stops on defense to be able to hold off a hot C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans team that's just, like I keep saying, they just continue to not turn the ball over. C.J. Stroud only has 1 turnover so far, or 1 interception on the season. That type of deal, taking care of the football. They're rolling there, and that type of deal. The Ravens coming off of a home loss at home against the Cleveland Browns, 33-31. That was a really good game there against the Cleveland Browns. I wasn't expecting that game to be high scoring like it was. You really have to give the Browns credit. They were down big in that game and they ended up coming back and winning by 2 points. Not much to say there. Like I said, it was just a good game, but the better team won. The Cleveland Browns did what they needed to do with the run game, and obviously the offense was able to get going, especially in that second half in that game. So um, overall, that was a high scoring game there. Overall, between these two teams, I like the Baltimore Ravens to win 23-20. I just think that the Ravens, they lost last week at home and stuff like that. I just can't see them losing 2 home games in a row. For Cincinnati, this is obviously a big game for them in terms of playoff positioning, that type of deal, tiebreakers and stuff like that. Knowing that, Cleveland not having Deshaun Watson, that type of deal, I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to come out and they're going to do what they can to try to win the game and that type of deal. But overall, I just think the Ravens are just a better team here. So 23-20 Ravens on Thursday Night Football. Next game, we have another AFC North showdown. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Browns favored by 4 points. The Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a home win against the Packers, 23-19. Low scoring affair there. Pittsburgh's defense continuing to show why they're one of the best defenses in the league, week in and week out. Just being consistent on that side of the ball. They really frustrated Jordan Love throughout that game. They were down early, but they ended up coming back, and they ended up winning in a close game there. Pittsburgh obviously continues to surprise me in terms of, even though how anemic and how bad their offense is, they have a great defense that keeps them in every game, and they give them obviously the best chance to win. And obviously Mike Tomlin, him being one of the best coaches out there right now, and continuing to not have a losing record. They're sitting here at 6-3 after everyone pretty much had them finishing at the bottom of the division. They're sitting here, they are sitting second as of right now in the division, having a chance to, believe it or not, win the AFC North if they continue to trend in the right direction. The Cleveland Browns coming off of a big-time win on the road against Baltimore, 33-31. Obviously, Cleveland Browns were down big in that game and ended up coming back and winning. The biggest storyline, there's no Deshaun Watson. Obviously, he's out for the rest of the season. But the Browns continue, they've won games without Deshaun Watson. You look at the 49er game, one ugly, low-scoring game there. So I think the Browns are going to rely on their defense. Obviously, one of the best defenses in the league. I think Myles Garrett will be able to get after Kenny Pickett and that offense. The Steelers offense isn't anything special, so I think the Browns should have a field day on that side of the ball. But overall, this is going to be a defensive battle. The Browns being at home obviously gives them the edge here. So I like the Browns to win 16-13 here. Low score, ugly game. I just think, like I said, them being at home, and I think Myles Garrett and those guys on the side will make more plays. And obviously the run game, even though they don't have Nick Chubb, they still have Kareem Hunt and the guys and those guys on that side. So Browns 16-13 at home. Next game, we have an NFC North showdown. We have the Chicago Bears at the Detroit Lions. Lions fair about 9.5. Not much to say about this game. The Bears are coming off of a win last week versus at home against the Carolina Panthers, 16-13. Not much to say in that game. There wasn't really much going on there. Like I said, they were just beat. The Bears were at home. They made more plays than the Carolina Panthers, who obviously is one of the worst teams in the league, and that type of deal. The Detroit Lions coming off the big high score win on the road at the Chargers, 41-38. This Lions team is starting to look very scary right now. Their offense is lethal when they want to be. They were able to do what they wanted to do against that Chargers defense. Um, the defense obviously is a little concerning. They did give up 38 points at the end of the day. So then they have some work to do on that side of the ball. But I love what they're doing offensively. Jared Goff and the rest of those guys are continuing to take care of the football. They're continuing to just play their style of football. Love the head coach and what they got going on up there in Detroit. So, but overall, not much to say. I like the Lions 31-17 at home against the Bears. Next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Green Bay Packers. Chargers favored by 3. Like Chargers coming off a loss at home against the Lions, 41-38. Like I said, the Chargers defense they had no answers for Jared Goff in that offense. Uh, just continues to be a story for the Chargers. They just continue to compete. They can compete with these teams, but they're just not able to finish. Just the same story, like I said. Like I said, I still think Brandon Staley's going to be fired at the end of the year. If he does not find a way to get this team in the playoffs, I just think this team has too much talent to be able to not be in the playoffs. But they're just continuing to find ways to lose every week in heartbreaking fashion. It's just crazy how many one score games that they've been in, they just haven't been able to finish and stuff like that. So I know if you're a Chargers fan out there, that has to be kind of uh, frustrating there. The Green Bay Packers coming off a loss at Pittsburgh 23-19. Like I said, they just couldn't do anything offensively against that Steelers defense. The Steelers defense did a tremendous job just containing Jordan Love in the offense, making things difficult. Even though Green Bay did have a lead in that game, they just, like I said, it wasn't really much. I mean, after they really took the lead, they didn't really do much after that. The offense couldn't really get anything going. So you have to really give Pittsburgh credit there. Overall, in this game, I still like the Chargers to win 23 or 27-23. I just think they're a better team here. Even though I was going back and forth with this game, I just think the Chargers have to win here. I just think this is a must-win for them, especially if they want to keep pace in a stacked AFC to make it in the wild card and that type of deal. So this is a huge win for the Chargers. So Chargers win 27-23 at Lambeau. Next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 12.5. The Raiders coming off a win last Sunday Night Football against the Jets, 16-12, low scoring affair there. The Raiders, like I said, they didn't really do much in that game. Obviously, the offense didn't do much. Against a really good Jets defense, it was pretty much a defensive battle the whole game, and stuff like that. Not much to say there in that game. The Dolphins were on the bye last week. They come off a week 8 loss, excuse me, versus the Chiefs in Germany, 21-14. Like I said, the story continues to be with the Dolphins. They can beat up on, the average to low average teams, but they still can't find ways to beat the elite teams. And like I said, until the Dolphins find a way to beat an elite team, I can't really take them seriously in terms of trying to get to the Super Bowl and that type of deal. But overall, in this game, I still like the Dolphins to win 31-23. They continue to dominate against bad teams, even though uh, Antonio Pierce obviously is 2-0 as a coach so far. You are going up against a juggernaut in this Dolphins offense. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and those guys. Dolphins at home here. I just think they have the edge here against the Raiders here. So 31-23 at home, or Dolphins at home. Next game, we have the New York Giants taking on the Washington Commanders. Commanders favored by 10. It's actually pretty embarrassing that the Giant or any team would be 10-point underdogs against this Commanders team. I don't think this Commanders team is that good. But anyways, Giants coming off of a dominating loss at Dallas, 49-17. Not much to say there. Like I said, they didn't have Daniel Jones, who's out with an ACL injury. Tyrod Taylor was out with IR. So Tommy DeVito was the starting quarterback. He didn't do much in that game, obviously, against a Dallas team that just was flying around the field, just making plays left and right, that type of deal. The Washington Commanders coming off of a loss at Seattle, 29-26. Yeah, I mean, the Commanders obviously were in the game pretty much the entire game. They had a chance to win. They just weren't able to make the plays down the stretch. Couldn't stop Geno Smith in that offense um, from getting down the field. And obviously, the Seahawks ended up winning in the last second field goal, that type of deal. But like I said, they had their opportunities to win that game. They just weren't able to capitalize um, off of their mistakes and that type of deal. But overall in this game, I like the Commanders to bounce back here, 23-10 at home. They should have no issues with this Giants team. This is obviously the worst team in football, in my opinion. Like I said, the Giants are going to continue to search for the quarterback. I think they're going to get either Caleb Williams or Drake May in the draft. I just don't think Daniel Jones is the long-term solution, in my opinion. So, Washington 23-10 at home. Next game, we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. Cowboys fair by 10.5. Not going to waste any time here. I think the Cowboys are coming off a win at home, 49-17 against the Giants. Dominating performance. Like I said, Dak Prescott had a tremendous day on the offense. Defense was flying around the field, like I said a minute ago, making Tommy DeVito and the offense work for everything. They just had no answers against this Cowboys defense, who's obviously one of the best in the league. So not much to say there. Cowboys was able to do what they wanted to do the whole game. Carolina coming off a loss at Chicago 16-13. Just no offense with this Carolina team right now. They did come off of a win against the Texans, but they only, like I said, they did only score 15 points in that game, and they only scored 13 points last week. So they just can't get anything going offensively, and just stuff like that. So overall, Dallas 35-17. Not much to say here. They should dominate. Like I said, they should have no issues against this Carolina team, who I think this is a bad matchup for Bryce Young, in my opinion. Going up against this Cowboys defense, I just think he's going to have a rough day, in my opinion. So Cowboys win big here on the road. Next game, we have an AFC South showdown. We have the Tennessee Titans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars favored by 6.5. Titans coming off of a loss down in Tampa, 20-6. They just couldn't get anything going offensively in that game. Tampa Bay obviously had a heartbreaking loss the week before down in Houston, and they just came out and they just hit Tennessee in the mouth from start to finish. Tennessee just didn't have any answers for Baker Mayfield in that offense, and obviously, Tennessee's offense just couldn't get anything going down the field throughout that game. So that's about it there. The Jags coming off of a loss at home to the 49ers team, 34-3. I just think it's one of those situations where the 49ers play with more desperation than the Jags. They were on a 3-game losing streak before that game. People were talking about, oh well, the Jags are going to win, and I just think it was one of those games. It was one of those get right games for the 49ers. I just think the Jags ran up against a team that was more desperate. So I mean, doesn't mean I don't think the Jags. I still think the Jags are a good team. But I just think they ran up against a better team in the 49ers, and they just got Chase Young at the trade deadline to bolster that defense. So they just were flying around the field, just made things hard for Trevor Lawrence and the offense to get anything going. And he was obviously frustrated throughout that game. So overall, in this game, I just think the Jags are still a better team here, giving them the win 23-17. Like I said, I just think they have more offense. I think Trevor Lawrence will have a better game against this Titans defense. This Titans offense just struggling with their offense. A little bit inconsistent. I just want to see more consistency with them on that side of the ball. But Jacksonville bounces back here, 23-17 at home. Next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Houston Texans. Texans favored by 4. Arizona coming off a win at home against the Atlanta Falcons, 25-23. Like I said, Kyler Murray was back in that game, gave the Cardinals the much needed spark that they needed, especially on the offense. They've just been struggling on the offense weeks before Kyler Murray got back, and with him inserting him back into that offense, obviously I thought it was gonna take him a game or two to shake off the rust, but he looked like the Kyler Murray of old. He was able to run around and extend plays with his legs. He just looked comfortable out there. I think he was just happy he was back on the football field. And I think, like I said, the NFL is better with him on the field. We know what type of special player Kyle Murray is. Obviously, he makes the team tremendously better on that side of the ball. The Texans coming off of a big time road win at Cincinnati, 30-27. Like I said, man, this Texans team they're surprising me right now. And they're not. I mean, CJ Stroud is not turning the ball over. He's taking care of the football the way he is, especially as a rookie. For him to be taking care of the football as a rookie is just amazing to see. And obviously, that's the reason why they're able to win games, and the reason why I think they're going to be a playoff team when it's all said and done. If he continues to sustain this level of productivity on the offense, taking care of the football, making plays for his team, this team's definitely going to be a playoff team, in my opinion. Um, so this team's really exciting, and like I said, they got a lot of momentum going for them right now. But between these two teams, I think this is going to be a high scoring game here, but I still like the Texans to win 30-27. Like I said, it's going to be a phenomenal game here. But I just think the Texans, they continue their dominance in taking care of the football, and just playing to their identity, and they just got a lot of good things going for them right now. So Texans 30-27 at home. Next game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers favored by 11.5. Tampa Bay coming off of a win at home against the Titans 20-6. Not much to say about that game. Tampa Bay did what they needed to do on both sides of the ball, really shutting down Derrick Henry and Will Levis in that offense. The Tampa Bay offense obviously had a pretty good day and that type of deal. They just had their way against this Titans team. The 49ers coming off of a dominating road win at the Jags, 34-3. I just think the getting Chase Young obviously just made this 49ers defense more lethal, more scary, and that type of deal. They just made life hell for that Jags offense and Trevor Lawrence to get anything going throughout that game. Just really frustrated him throughout that entire game. Gave the crowd nothing to cheer for. They just dominated from start to finish. Overall, in this game, I like the 49ers to win 30-17. I just think they're a much better football team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are. Like I said, that they should have no issues against this Tampa Bay team. So 49ers continue to roll here 30-17 at home. Next game, we have an AFC East showdown. We have the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. Bills favored by 7. The Jets continue to struggle on offense. Like I said, they're a team that's trying to fight for a playoff spot. But like I said, I just don't think they're a playoff team with how bad this offense is. We know how great the defense is. The defense is going to keep it in every game. But their offense, they got to be better, especially if you want to make the playoffs and stuff like that. Obviously, they had a chance to obviously win that game at the Raiders, but like I said, they just offensive woes continue, and the Raiders, you have to give them credit too. They held the Jets to only 12 points. So just until their offense shows improvement, they're not a playoff team in my opinion. The Buffalo Bills coming off a loss last Monday night against the Broncos, 24-22. A lot of storylines with this team. They just fired Ken Dorsey as their offensive coordinator, and Joe Brady's going to take over there. Like I said, Buffalo Bills just have a lot of problems right now. Josh Allen continues to turn the ball over, put the ball in harm's way. until he, keeps those turnovers down, man, they're just not. The Bills are just going to continue to lose, and it's not going to get any easier for this Bills team. They have a tough schedule coming up, so they better be careful here. They better find a way to win some of these games if they want to keep their playoff chances alive and that type of deal. So, but overall in this game, I'm just going to keep this short. I still like the Buffalo Bills to win 21-16. I just think I trust their offense more than the Jets right now. Even though I do like the Jets defense more to make some plays. Like I said, Zach Wilson's going to have to make a play here and there. I just don't think he's able to do it against this Bills team. The Bucs said the Bills defense isn't all that special, but I still trust their offense a lot more than I do the Jets right now. So 21-16 at home. NFC West showdown, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Seahawks favored by 1 point. Seahawks coming off a win at home against the Commanders 29-26. Really good game there. Geno Smith in the offense made some big plays down the stretch in that game. They just, like I said, they just made more plays than the Commanders, even though the Commanders they did keep things competitive. Geno Smith, obviously, they just couldn't stop him down the stretch, and obviously the Seahawks was able to get a last-second field goal to win the game. And stuff like that. So not much to say there in that game. The Seahawks did what they needed to do to win a big-time game there. The Rams were on the bye week last week. They did come off a Week 8 loss at Green Bay 20-3. Obviously, Matthew Stafford, I'm not really sure what the stats of him going into this game and that type of deal. But if he is playing, I was thinking about going with the upset here. But like I said, until I hear more about him, I'm just going to pick the Seahawks to win 27-21. I think they're a better team. I think they continue their playoff push, and not just for the wild card, but they're still in play for the NFC West division. So they get a big time win here. It'll be huge for them in terms of them being at home rather than being on the road for the playoffs. So 27-21 at the Rams. Next game, we have a Sunday Night Football edition. We have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Denver Broncos. Broncos favored by 2. Joshua Dobbs and this Minnesota Vikings offense, they continue to win games. Like I said, Joshua Dobbs just got here a few weeks ago. Him not knowing the playbook, him just going out there and just being himself and just going out there and winning the game for his team is just pretty impressive. They obviously went up against that elite Saints defense. He was able to make plays down the field for his team. I just think, the Vikings, it was just a great pickup overall after Kirk Cousins going down with an injury, that type of deal. The Denver Broncos coming off a big-time win on the road at the Bills, 24-22. Most people had that game as a blowout, and I just thought it was going to be a close game, which I was right about that. So, but the Broncos, like I said, Russell Wilson is showing flashes of his old self. He made some spectacular throws down the field against this Bills defense who was struggling so far throughout the season. The Broncos defense is coming along, after giving up 70 points to the Dolphins early in the season. I think their defense has definitely buckled down, and they look a lot more engaged on that side of the ball, and just they're playing a lot better on that side. So, and that's the reason why they're rolling. They've been rolling the past few weeks here. But overall, I just think it's one of those games where Joshua Dobbs is playing good football, and he is doing what he obviously normally does every week: go out, win the game, that type of deal. But I just think this is one of those games where I think he runs into a motivated Denver Broncos team, especially on the defense. I think Denver will be able to get after Joshua Dobbs and sack him, and get some sacks on him. And I think Russell Wilson will continue to, like I said, show flashes of his old self like he was in Seattle. So give me the Broncos here, 24-21. Should be a good game here. I just think the game being in Denver, at the Mile High on Sunday Night Football, I think they have the edge here, especially coming off a big time road win at Buffalo. So 24-21 Broncos. Last game of the week, we have a Super Bowl rematch between the Philadelphia Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 2.5. Eagles were on a bye week last week. They did come off a Week 8 win at home against Dallas 2023. The Chiefs were on the bye week last week. They came off a Week 8 win in Germany against the Dolphins, 21-14. Between these two teams, their offenses are high powered. The defenses, I think the Chiefs are a little bit better defensively than the Eagles right now. But at the end of the day, I just think this is one of those games where I think the Eagles get their revenge here. I think they come out here. It should be a good game, obviously, but I think they come out here and they play their style of football. Jalen Hurts and that crew continues to dominate, continues to play really good football here. At the Chiefs, we know the Chiefs' defense is really good, but their offense obviously is a little bit shaky, I would say, especially at their wide receiver position. Um, so I just trust the Eagles more. Give me the Eagles here, 28-24 on Monday Night Football. Like I said, I just think they're a little bit of a better team than the Chiefs are. Um, so yeah, I mean, I just think this is one of those games where I think the Eagles are just as motivated to go out there and get their revenge on this Chiefs team. So 28-24 should be a phenomenal game here. Now I'll do it. Those are my Week 11 NFL predictions. Comment your picks below. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the games this weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.